My name is Mark Rubin, and I'm a dream weaver. I hope these widgets help you weave your dreams into reality. This story is about capitalization and about getting money to fund the development of the B-Box regenerative business system, which is the way I'm going to be demonstrating a regenerative business model using these ideas and the secrets of the bees and all my models of business visualization and energy transfer. And when I was putting this together, I was thinking about the costs of these kits that I'm going to be selling in the next year or two. These are the bee business kits in a box. Basically, you buy everything you need to operate a beekeeping business, small scale backyard beekeeping business, 2 hives for kids to learn the secrets of the bees through the book Honey is Money and the board game B-Box, The Business of the Bees. And this is the real life version of the board game. This is the board game in real life, which is to take all the lessons learned from playing the board game and apply them in real life with real money and real customers and real bees and create a world where people live in harmony with the rest of nature. This is the way I'm going to do it. And I'm planning to create 10,000 beekeepers by the year 2030. But one of the, perceived barriers of this is that the beehives, the kits, and the business toolkit will be expensive, according to some ways of looking at things. And people that I've been explaining this idea to, their first response is that it's too expensive and that obviously won't work. And I get this all the time in my life, like not just with money, but like the limited thinking of people and their conceptualization of things that basically match their view of the world. So I want to take some time here and explain how these bee kits are going to be capitalized and funded. And this, what I'm going to describe, is something I've done before. It has to do with mining money stored in the future, which is basically mining a sales funnel. And I have an earlier video in this series about software I created called Cloud Miner. And Cloud Miner is software that optimizes a sales funnel. Salesforce is software that organizes a sales funnel, and Cloud Miner sits on top of Salesforce and optimizes it. And it pulls jobs from the future to today. And what this does is it reduces the future cancellation rate, because once a job is completed and the money's in the bank, the customer can't cancel it. And so in the business that I have, this junk removal business, we will have on any given day across all the franchises that I own, a couple $1 million worth of money in the future, meaning people booked jobs in the future, not for today. And so the question is, how many of those jobs could I move from the future to today and therefore prevent them from canceling later? And since I know the future cancellation rate as a function of the days out from today, I can prove that this process creates millions of dollars a year because it reduces the future cancellation rate by a known percentage. And that reduction would not have happened had I not done this optimization. Carrying that concept forward is the idea that's related to selling next year's honey today. So what I want to describe is a way to fund these bee kits I'm going to sell these bee kits for somewhere between $2,000 and $4,000 per kit. Now, the equipment cost of this stuff would be about $1,000. Like if they bought it full retail from a website, from a company that sells bee equipment, it'd be about $1,000. That includes 2 hives, bee suit, tools, smoker, frames, all the stuff you need. That's a lot. It's a lot for a kid. It's a lot for a lot of people, $1,000. But I'm going to charge a minimum of $2,000. And people I've been explaining this to is like, that's crazy. No one's ever going to buy this beehive kit. But don't forget, I told an earlier story. I'm aware of the money around me. Where I lived in 1985 is close to where I live now. In 1985, I could walk to $500 million a year being spent by people. So $500 million of money was being spent where I could walk my little feet in the radius around my 2-mile radius around my house. And it's bigger now. So there's money all around us. There's honey all around us, and honey grows on trees, and money grows on trees. If you live near other people that are spending money to buy stuff, if you live in a part of a world where people buy things, then there's plenty of energy around us. And the question is how much can be intercepted, and how hard is it to get by providing value in different ways for products and services. This is part of the thinking of what I'm trying to put in people's minds, especially these kids, about abundance and about money that's around them. The way that this is going to work, this funding, I'm going to create software to operate these businesses, these B businesses. And the first module or the second module in this thing that I'm going to create is about a business plan. And the business plan is going to ask these kids questions about where they live, what the average household income is, and how many houses they can walk to, and how many people do they know, and what are their names and phone numbers and email addresses and addresses. And you're going to put all this stuff in this plan. And it's going to generate a business plan that's going to tell them how much money is around them. That business plan is going to go to these kids' parents, and the kids' parents can ask questions about it or approve it. And if the parents approve it, then the kids will go execute the next module, which is the marketing module, followed by the sales module, and gather money from these future customers to pre-sell next year's honey now. Get capitalized now with an IOU to the customers in the future that next year they'll give them honey. Now, this does a lot of things. First, teaches these kids the concept of a business plan and market value, customers, marketing, sales, and trust. The idea that if you promise you're going to deliver something, you have to do it. I think that if a kid sells 100 jars of next year's honey at $20 a jar, then there's enough money to make this game work. And I don't think that's that hard to do. And the other thing is if a kid can't do this, if a kid can't sell 100 jars of honey in advance, then they can't sell them after the fact. Okay, so like knowing who can sell things in advance is important to reducing risk. So if there's a kid that can play this game and call up grandma and call the cousins, call the schools, call the local businesses, call people to pre-sell next year's honey at $20 a jar, the most inspirational honey in the world, that's the kind of kid that's going to thrive with this kind of system. And if the kid can't do it, then spending $2,000 for $1,000 worth of equipment doesn't make sense, because that's just the first module of many modules. And the modules will cover marketing, sales, operations, HR, finance, admin, and special projects. And so I'm looking for people that can make it through these filters so they can learn how to thrive in business and in life and learn all those skills. And I just think that this approach for capitalizing the business by mining money stored in the future is the best approach for teaching kids about business.